There are over 1,000 weapons in Destiny 2, but most of them could be removed from the game and I wouldn't even notice. So I'm gonna go over 15 weapons I use every day and that I couldn't live without. I'm Marshix, and this first weapon is great for combat as well as moving around the map. Mountaintop is a special ammo grenade launcher that is not affected by gravity, just like rocket launchers. But its grenades do affect your gravity, and by that I mean you can rocket jump with it. So if you hold jump and shoot the ground, it will launch you far into the air. Or you can shoot this onto a wall or a slope to get horizontal movement too. Not only is this a lot of fun, but it also allows you to reach places that you otherwise couldn't. But like I said, this isn't just for movement, because this is one of the strongest special weapons in the game. First off, this gets auto-loading holster to reload itself while it's stowed. This means you can shoot it, swap to a primary weapon to kill smaller enemies, then swap back and shoot it again. So if you space out your shots, you never have to reload it. But what really makes this special is recombination. Getting kills with other weapons will give this a damage buff, and at 10 stacks, it will deal double damage. Or if you have the enhanced version, it only takes 8 stacks to get double damage. So you can shoot this, swap to another weapon to build up stacks while it reloads itself, then swap back and hit something really hard. This is a great weapon for majors and champions, and if you're using a rocket launcher with either auto-loading holster or reconstruction, it can be a decent special weapon to throw into your damage rotation. It also gets a bunch of other great perks, but this is the only role I care about. Now to get this, go to the tower, speak with Zavala, and change your weapon attunement to Mountaintop. Then go run Onslaught until you get the God roll. Up next is the Battle Rifle. This is a solar pulse rifle that gets Demolitionist and Incandescent. Demolitionist is a really solid perk, giving us grenade energy after every kill and automatically reloading it each time we throw a grenade. And Incandescent will make kills with this weapon spread Scorch, so enemies will take damage over time and rapid multi-kills will make them ignite. So this is already an excellent ad clear weapon, but if you're using this with a solar subclass, this gets even better with things like Ember of Ashes to apply more Scorch stacks, Ember of Eruption to increase the size of ignitions, Ember of Singeing to get class ability energy from Scorch kills, Ember of Searing to get melee energy and create fire sprites, and so much more. So this fits into any solar build, any grenade build, and it's absolutely perfect for Speaker's Sight, Verity's Brow, and Precious Scars. And since Incandescent is considered a debuff, it will also activate things like Stylish Executioner to turn invisible after every Scorch kill. To get this weapon, just run Dares of Eternity and open the box in Xur's Treasure Hoard. You'll eventually get it. Something else I couldn't live without is food, and today's sponsor Factor makes getting delicious food fast and easy. Factor offers chef-prepared meals that are ready to eat in only 2 minutes. With Factor, you pick out whatever meals you want on their website, then in just a few days, they'll deliver everything directly to your doorstep. And these meals are really simple to make. Just grab one, poke some holes in it, microwave it for 2 minutes, and now you're a professional chef. And they have a ton of different things to choose from every week. You want herb-crusted chicken? They got it. Filet mignon? They got it. Tortellini? They got it. They even have all kinds of add-ons like breakfast, smoothies, desserts, and more. It's time to skip that overpriced takeout because Factor is cheaper, healthier, way more delicious, and way more convenient. Since everything's delivered straight to you, you don't even need to leave your house. If you want to try Factor right now, you can get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month worth of orders. Just click the link in the description or scan this QR code with your phone. So what are you waiting for? Check it out. I love it and I know you'll love it too. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. This is my favorite weapon for ad clear. Sunshot is a solar hand cannon that makes enemies explode. And these explosions chain, so one kill can easily lead to multiple explosions. There's not much more to say, it's just really good. But if you don't want to use your exotic slot on a hand cannon, there is an awesome replacement called Zawali's Bane. This is the closest thing we have to a legendary Sunshot. This gets explosive payload, just like Sunshot, and it gets incandescent to create Scorch and ignitions. So you can definitely see the similarities. It's amazing for ad clear, and just like the battle rifle, this gets even better when paired with certain aspects and fragments. This comes from the King's Fall raid, and if you manage to get 5 red borders, you can craft it with enhanced perks to make it even better. A weapon archetype I couldn't live without is rocket sidearms. All of these are so good that I had to put them on the list. These are sidearms that take special ammo. They hit very hard, they're very ammo efficient, and you don't even need eyes to hit your shots. There are 3 of these in the game right now, and all of them have their different uses. Indebted Kindness is an arc sidearm that gets Volt Shot, so reloading after a kill will make the next shot apply Jolt. This is really good for ad clear, and it can be used to stun overload champions too. It also gets lead from gold, so ammo should never be a problem. unless you spent 20 hours grinding for this role and never got it and you're still pissed. The Strand sidearm is the Call. This also gets lead from gold, but this time it gets actual damage perks, like One for All, an easy to activate 35% damage buff. All you have to do is hit 3 enemies and your next few shots will hit hard. People also like all of these roles, but let's be honest, this is objectively the best. And the newest sidearm is Aberrant Action, a solar sidearm that gets Heal Clip and Incandescent. You already know why Incandescent is good, but Heal Clip makes this really unique. This will heal you and your allies whenever you reload after a kill. So if you use something like Ember Benevolence, each time you heal with this, you will get faster ability regen. So not only does this keep you alive, but in a team setting, this can drastically improve your solar builds. Now to get these weapons, Indebted Kindness drops from Warlord's Ruin, the Call comes from the Pale Heart, and Aberrant Action is from Episode Echo's activities and also Failsafe. Now we just need a Void sidearm with destabilizing rounds and a Stasis sidearm with Chill Clip. Those would both be amazing. Outbreak Perfected is one of my favorite weapons right now. Kills with Outbreak will spawn Siva nanites that hunt down enemies and attach to them. The more nanites on a target, the more damage Outbreak does. So you want to pick a target, shoot them until they're dead, and then move on to the next one. Outbreak also gets extra perks once you craft it, and the best one to choose is Rewind Rounds. This will automatically reload it whenever you run out of ammo. So this essentially doubles the magazine size, allowing you to shoot it for much longer and stack as many nanites as possible. And since this is a kinetic weapon, you can pair it with Facet of Grace to get additional Transcendence energy from every kill. So you can get Transcendence very quickly and consistently. Besides that, it's just a really solid pulse rifle. Good for ad clear, good for single target damage, overpowered for GMs. It does it all. This comes from the 0-hour exotic mission, and to unlock its extra perks, you'll have to discover all the secrets within the same mission. Another weapon I need in my life is a machine gun with Reconstruction. Reconstruction will automatically reload your weapon up to double capacity. So on machine guns, that can make your magazine size around 150 to 180 shots, which is insane and exactly what you want on a machine gun. Now there are 2 machine guns that I really like. The first is Commemoration. This gets Reconstruction alongside Killing Tally. Each kill with Killing Tally will give you a damage buff that lasts until you either reload or swap weapons. But remember, with Reconstruction, you don't have to reload, so you can keep this buff going for as long as you want, or at least until you run out of ammo. The other machine gun I really enjoy is a newer one called Promemoria. This is a strand machine gun with Reconstruction and Target Lock. Other people will recommend Bait and Switch, but I definitely prefer Target Lock. This will steadily increase your damage the longer you keep it on your target. So it takes no setup to activate, just shoot it. The only problem is that in order to get the most damage out of Target Lock, you have to shoot more than 100% of the magazine. But luckily, the magazine size is technically 91. So with Reconstruction, we can actually utilize Target Lock to its full potential. Just don't miss your shots. Both of these weapons are good for ad clear and single target damage, but Commemoration does lean a little bit more into the ad clear side, while Promemoria leads a little bit more towards bigger targets. To get these weapons, you need to like the video, then Commemoration will drop from Deepstone Crypt, and Promemoria will come from the Pale Heart. I've played Destiny for 10 years, and about 7 of those years, we didn't have Eager Edge swords. I don't know how we did it. Eager Edge is a perk on very few swords, and it will increase your lunge distance. But what that really means is you can use this to move around the map really fast. All you have to do is pull out your sword, swing, then immediately swap weapons, and you'll build up a lot of momentum. That's the most basic use of Eager Edge, but it gets even crazier when you throw in other abilities that allow you to do stuff like this. I'm not going to go over how to do this because that would take forever, but there are a bunch of guides out there to learn these insane tricks. This perk is available on the 2 Halo swords from Dares of Eternity, as well as Fallen Guillotine from Onslaught and the Slammer from Nightfalls. The Slammer is my favorite because it also gets Bait and Switch for a solid damage buff whenever I do need to put out some extra damage. It's definitely not good damage, but it is the highest damage dealing sword with Eager Edge. And I got the Super God roll with Relentless Strikes, so I just never take this off. Speaking of edging, Edge Transit is the only heavy grenade launcher I couldn't live without. This used to be a meme, but now it's really good. This gets Envious Assassin, so kills with other weapons can overfill the magazine. And on mine, it goes from 8 shots all the way up to 24 shots. Big difference. But mag size doesn't matter, it's about how you use it. So that's why we have Bait and Switch to get an easy to activate 30% damage buff. So not only can you dump a bunch of ammo at once, all of them will deal a lot more damage. This is great for most DPS phases, since you can literally just fill up the magazine while you kill the smaller enemies and do the mechanics, then start the damage phase by activating bait and switch, then hold down the trigger and dump all your ammo. Very easy to pull off, and it deals surprisingly good damage. You get this the same way as Mountaintop. Head over to Zavala, swap the attunement to Edge Transit, then hang out in Onslaught for a few days and you'll eventually get a god roll. Up next is a weapon I've been using for many years. I think everyone needs a good kinetic hand cannon, and Fatebringer is one of the best. This is the original PvE hand cannon. It gets explosive payload, so each shot deals slightly more damage, and it gets Firefly to make enemies explode after every precision kill. This is kind of like Sunshot, but it's kinetic, and you actually have to aim for the head. So for builds where you can't run Sunshot, this is a great replacement. However, I would be lying if I said this is the best kinetic hand cannon right now, because Midnight Coup recently got an update, and it's basically a better version of Fatebringer. This gets Firefly, just like Fatebringer, but it also gets damage perks like Frenzy. This will be active most of the time, and it provides a 15% damage buff. It also gets all these other perks, but I found that Firefly plus Frenzy is the closest thing to Fatebringer, and it requires zero setup. And unlike Fatebringer, this has an origin trait that will give you grenade or melee energy after every kill, based on your equipped super. So it's like having mini Demolitionist or mini Pugilist completely for free. I don't use kinetic hand cannons in most of my builds, but in builds like Celestial Still Hunt, Midnight Coup is a must-have. Midnight Coup also comes from Onslaught, and you can attune it as Zavala for better drop chances. This next weapon is borderline overpowered. Graviton Lance is a void pulse rifle that makes enemies explode into void projectiles, and these will chain off of each other, so just like Sunshot, a few kills with this can clear an entire room of enemies. And the cool thing about Graviton is that you can do all of this from a distance, and because it is a void weapon, it can get volatile rounds for even more explosions. I actually just made a build around this, and it gives Graviton Lance infinite volatile rounds, but you'll have to check out this video to see how. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.